Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So it's Tuesday, which means it's time for our weekly tier list Tuesday. And I thought because we're kind of ramping up towards the end of the season, we'd maybe do a more lighthearted video. Obviously, my last two videos have been kind of contentious, looking at which Canadian teams could potentially break the cup drought, cup curse that Canada's gone through over the last 30 years. And then yesterday, kind of shitting on Sidney Crosby and this supposed media narrative that he should be in the goddamn Hart discussion. So today, I saw my timeline recently, people talking about the term aura, NHL players with the most aura, them doing their own tier lists. I thought I'd do my own. I thought it'd be a fun idea, more of a lighthearted, don't have to think too deep about it. When looking at the definition of aura, the distinctive atmosphere or quality that seems to surround or be generated by a person, thing, or place. So yeah, it's not really like a physical thing. It's just how guys are looked at based on their overall style in terms of on the ice, off the ice, their prior accomplishments. That yeah, just what when you think of the player, do you think that they're cool? That's kind of what it is for the most part, if you got what I'm saying, in terms of on and off the ice. So let's get into it. Up first, Connor McDavid, not the most electric player off the ice, but in terms of on the ice, he doesn't have both, so I can't put him in that S tier. It's a pretty elite club, but I think definitely when you're watching Connor McDavid, you are just kind of in awe. You're just holding your breath for him to do something amazing. Sebastian Aho, I'm going to go B. He does play in more of a boring market. Not boring market, but like the Carolina Hurricanes aren't the most inspiring, fun, exciting team. They play winning hockey for the most part, but I can't really say I might honestly bump him down to a C, not going to lie. Bo Horvat also gets a C. The Islanders have been a lot more exciting this season, but he is just your run-of-the-mill two-way solid center. I think you could argue that he's maybe in D. Mitch Marner kind of gives off dorky vibes at times. I'm not sure. He's definitely a fun player to watch on the ice, but off the ice, doesn't really give off the vibes of a guy that I would want to share a beer with at a bar. Jack Hughes, before the season, he'd be an A, but dude, that the people pay to watch me play, that affected his aura, affected the way that he's viewed so much. I'm going to still put him in B because I still think he is one of the most electric young players in the entire NHL. But yeah, that he in 5-7 years could have been an S, but that really hurt. He needs to bounce back, make the playoffs next season. Tim Stützle, I can't say he has like any aura just because the Sens, although he did have a fantastic year last year, the Sens did kind of crap their pants in terms of this year, in terms of team success. So until he actually makes the goddamn playoffs, basically has no aura. Zach Hyman, yeah, I'm going to go with like a D because he's a fun player to watch, but he has a net front presence. I don't really think of aura, a guy that gets his tap in goal. And he's not a McDavid merchant, just saying. But when I think of Zach Hyman, I don't think of the coolest NHL player. Pedersen, soft-spoken, but he is one of the better centers in the entire NHL. I'm going to stick him in that C. Similarly, although the Canucks are a more fun team to watch than the Hurricanes, he's not the most electric personality. William Nylander, after this year, you can make an argument for A. I think I'm going to stick him in B. He's a pretty fun player off the ice, having a great season. I think of the moments that he provided this season, like the goddamn Stockholm OT winner, that is filled with aura. That's what William Nylander has kind of elevated his game. Sidney Crosby, I don't love him, but you can't deny he is a little bit of a whiny. I'm not going to say the word whiny at times. So I think I'm not going to have him in S because there is reasons to not like Sidney Crosby. He's not like a universally beloved player, but you got to respect what he's done. And he still is one of the greats, one of the all-time greats. So he definitely has some aura. Adam Fox, this might be biased, not really biased against the Rangers. I'm putting him in F just because whenever I think of Adam Fox, fantastic player. I've defended him nonstop. Still think he's the second best defenseman in all of hockey, probably top 10 player in all of hockey. But when talking about aura, a guy that kind of whined his way in order to get to the New York Rangers, demanded trade, said he wouldn't sign with the Flames, said he wouldn't sign with the Carolina Hurricanes, that kind of gives off whiny B word. So I think he's kind of auraless in terms of that regard. Slavkovsky, I'm going to go with B. He's just a fun guy to watch. You hear him talk outside of the actual playing. He's very good. He's very fun. Doesn't hurt that he's a fantastically looking guy at like 6'3". Just carries himself very well. And in terms of this year, breaking out of the player, looks like a future superstar, future star at the very least. So I think Slavkovsky definitely has a lot of aura regarding him. Vinny Trocheck, fun player. They play up obviously the Italian narrative with him. I think I'm going to go with the C, although like on ice obviously doesn't compare to these guys. Charlie McAvoy, can't say he's like filled with aura. Lays out some big hits. I guess that's cool, but also does take some stupids. He's been suspended. I don't know. PLD is definitely an F in terms of Again, similarly to an Adam Fox, whining your way out of two different markets, basically. And then, unlike Fox, or at least Fox backs it up on the ice, PLD just absolutely sucking, takes away any aura that he had. He probably didn't have any aura when he was in Winnipeg for the most part, and especially now. McKinnon, same thing. Not the most. He's a little scary off the ice, to be honest. He's a little too intense for me. But in terms of on the ice, he's an absolutely electric guy. I think you got to have him in A. Cale Makar, I think he's not that electric off the ice, but he's just so fun. He's obviously the most exciting defenseman in my opinion. When you look at him just being kind of like the complete package, one of my favorite players in the entire NHL. Ovechkin, that's an S tier. He's a likable guy, unlike a Sidney Crosby, and just the way he carries himself. The goddamn Subway and Subway and Cheetos the other day, like that's so Ovechkin. When you think about one of the coolest players and just one of the greatest players of all time, he's the perfect mix of great personality as well as just a generational talent. I think Ovechkin got to be in one of the S spots. Connor Hellebuyck, you don't really hear or see a lot of him because he plays in Winnipeg. I'm gonna put him in C. I don't really know. Philip Forsberg, that mustache basically definitely gets him into B. I could see an argument for A, honestly. The mustache is just so goddamn cool. And he's just been one of the most underrated players in the entire NHL, for one of the most underrated stars, let me say, for like the past 4 to 5 years. And he's obviously great this year. The Brinket got no aura, especially after also kind of demanding his way out of Ottawa, going to his hometown, and he hasn't really lived up. He's been fine this season, but past those first 8-10 games, I think the Brinket at this point, he did have aura when he was playing with Patrick Kane, but since he's left Patrick Kane, hasn't really been the same player, lost a lot of aura surrounding him. JT Miller got aura similarly. Mustache doesn't quite have the Philip Forsberg mustache, but JT Miller, I don't know how you can, he's definitely a controversial player in the sense that I don't really know, but when looking at him, I feel like he is a good story in terms of was just like a 50 to 55 point guy on the Rangers, even his first couple years in Tampa, then absolutely explodes. I think you got to root for him, and he definitely is a controversial player. Hedman has aura for sure when looking at him, although he's maybe not as good as he was 3 to 4 years ago. Still, that tall, that intimidating, still point per game, although the defensive struggles have been there. He definitely has aura as being one of the best defensemen of his entire generation. Nico Hischier, not a lot of aura for Nico Hischier. Yes, he is a captain from Switzerland, not the most entertaining player on or off the ice, just plays the game the right way, but I don't think that that's like aura-inducing when talking about Nico Hischier. Sam Reinhart, you got to stack multiple seasons. This season has been, if you're talking just this season, it's been like an A aura. Like every single game, you're like, when the hell is this guy going to slow down? And he just doesn't. But still, I think he definitely has aura going forward. Dylan Larkin, I don't mean to be a hater, but Dylan Larkin's a little bit of a, I'm going to go, I don't know. Dylan Larkin, I'm going to put him in D. I don't know. I don't really think of aura when I think of Dylan Larkin. Mark Stone, he's a controversial guy. I'm going to put him in. He is a cup champ, though. Captain, cup champ. Has been one of the best two-way players in the entire decade, but he is such a controversial, and I understand why people have problems with him because of the LTIR stuff. I can't have him that high. Mikko Rantanen, stud. I could maybe put him in A. Not a ton off the ice. He obviously beefed with Arturi Lekkonen's goddamn dad this offseason. That was fantastic. I'm going to put him in A. When you think about Mikko Rantanen, you just think of a moose, obviously. That's his goddamn nickname. Just 6'3", 6'4", absolute beast. That is pretty aura-inspiring. Jake Gensel, I don't think he has a ton of aura. Matthew Tkachuk, I could make an argument. At the end of last season, Matthew Tkachuk was S tier. I'm going to put him in A just because he is having a bit of a down year, but one of the most exciting players in the entire league, talks trash, kind of just a modern-day power forward that we look for. Steven Stamkos still has a ton of aura, but he has kind of fallen off in terms of his play. His aura is not the same, but he is still Steven Stamkos. I'm going to put him in A. Brady Tkachuk is that also an ideal power forward, but considering the Sens haven't had that success, I don't think that he has built around that aura. I'm going to go with the C, man. Panarin definitely goes up to an A, was that superstar. Last year, I always say a down year because it kind of was a down year compared to the relative of his New York term. At the end of last year, after his playoff performance, you can make an argument that he was C or D, but stepping up this year back to like his first year form and even better with the New York Rangers, he's definitely gained that aura, especially playing in New York City. Very, very good. Roman Josi, I think Roman Josi is an A as well. One of the best defensemen of not the entire decade, because it's been basically since 2016 on. For the last 5 to 7 years, one of the best defensemen. Also just a fantastically looking guy. No homo, but when looking at him, just an absolute stud, great on and off the ice. Really like Roman Josi. Bobrovsky's aura has definitely skyrocketed in the last year or so. He gets a B. Matthews, I'm going to say Matthews does have aura, just because when you talk about him, yes, he's a controversial guy in terms of because he's a Maple Leaf mainly, but the guy's such a threat on the ice, and I think he has a decent personality off the ice. He's not a total drip. Kucherov, I think you could put S for Kucherov, man. Especially after this season reestablishing himself as a top-tier NHL player. You can shit on him for not carrying him in the All-Star game, but when looking at this guy, when they won the cup, goddamn blackout drunk beers at the press conference, he's just such a fun player to watch. I would put him in S. Quinn Hughes, not the most, he's such a good player that I think I got to put him in B, but he always looks scared. I don't know what it, like in interviews and stuff, he always looks scared for some reason. Oh shit, I got to like move this screen. I'm going to put Quinn Hughes in C right now. Next up, we got John Tavares. That's an easy F. Nice guy. One of the most boring guys in the entire NHL. I don't think I'm being a hater, a biased Islanders fan for saying that when looking at John Tavares. Basically no aura. Braden Point. He gets a solid. I want to throw him in C, though. It's more so Kucherov carrying that team in terms of aura. Trevor Zegras, at the end of last season, A. Now I think he's kind of lost a decent amount of his aura. Still a very exciting player to watch when he's actually playing, when he's actually healthy. I'm going to throw him in C. Cole Caulfield. I think Cole Caulfield's a fun player. I think he does have that aura. Although he's not goal scoring at the rate that we expected this year, he's still going to put up like 60 goddamn points. Matt Barzal, I'm going to go with the B. I think although the Islanders aren't the most exciting team, he's an absolutely electric player, fantastic skater, and just has so much style to his overall game. I think you got to respect him and throw him in B. Brady Tkachuk. I already did Brady Tkachuk. I got two of these. Whoops. Brat. When looking at Brat, I think Brad's probably in a C. He's not good enough quite yet. I'm going to go with a C. It's tough. Sorokin doesn't. Sorokin has lost a lot of his aura. I'm going to go with a D this season. Not playing that good. Patrick Kane. Oh, shit, I got to move this. Patrick Kane, I think you got to also have him in S. Showtime. Still playing at an extremely high level this season. Maybe at the end of last year, there's question marks. You throw him an A. But the fact he's still playing at an elite level while having the reputation that he's had, I think you got to have him in S tier. Dobson. I still don't think Dobson's the most electric defenseman in the entire NHL. I'm going to put him in C. Robertson, really nice guy, but I wouldn't say I don't think that he has that aura yet, considering last year kind of Rupe Hintz outperformed him in the playoffs. Clayton Keller has really good aura. I'm going to be honest, playing in Arizona, an untraditional market, the fact he's kind of carried his team, I like Clayton Keller. I think he does have the aura. Brad Marchand, you can love him or hate him, but I still think that he does have aura. Okay, we have way too many guys in this tier list, but I had to readjust it. Jack Eichel. He's going in B, especially after winning the Stanley Cup. He had very good aura back in Buffalo, and now that he's a Stanley Cup champion, I think you got to respect that. Tage Thompson had a lot of aura last season. I probably would put him in A, but I think he has lost a decent amount of that aura considering he's having a down year. I'm going to throw him down in C. Anze Kopitar still has pretty solid aura. I don't think he has the talents to go in A. I'm going to put him in B. I still think you got to respect him as one of the all-times. Brock Besser definitely has aura this season. You got to root for this guy overall after everything that he's gone through in recent years. I think you definitely need to put him in B. Marc-Andre Fleury, although I don't think that he's that good of a goalie anymore, he's still an all-time legend. He still has top-tier aura. Pasternak, I don't think that he's quite good enough to go in A, but he definitely has the off-ice personality. I'm going to put him in A. Barkov, I don't think that he has a ton of personality. I don't think that he has a ton of prestige offensively. He's great defensively, but again, defensive two-way centers don't really have the most aura in my opinion. I think he's going to go in C. Dahlin, I'm throwing a lot of guys in B and C. Dahlin, I still don't think that he's there quite yet, especially considering the Buffalo Sabres haven't made the playoffs. He doesn't have that level of prestige. I should probably move Quinn Hughes up, not going to lie. Kirill Kaprizov, I think Kirill Kaprizov deserves an A. This guy's an absolute stud. I love watching him play. Carries the Wild. Having one of the best 2024s out of any player in the entire NHL. He gets it. Leon Draisaitl, A as well. One of the best players in the entire NHL. More entertaining, in my opinion, than probably McDavid off the ice. Carlson, last year after winning Norris, probably an A. I think he has not gone into obscurity in Pittsburgh, but he doesn't have nearly the same love, nearly the same aura. I think you still need to respect him as a three-time Norris winner. Kyle Connor plays in Winnipeg. It's kind of tough. Throw him in C. Miro Heiskanen. I think Mihoskin's a legit top 5 defenseman and has been so playoff proven last year and back in 2020 that he does have some aura around him at this point. Connor Bedard, although, again, he's a rookie, but the fact he had all that hype and he lived up to it, I think he's that level of aura. Johnny Gaudreau at this point, because of his play, leaving the Calgary Flames, saying he wants to win, then being an absolute dumpster fire in Columbus, that's bad. Josh Morrissey, I'm going to go with a D, honestly. And then we got the 2 guys that I already did that I somehow have another picture of, Marchand and Brady Tkachuk. This is the aura. This is it. This is the aura tier list. Let me know in the comments. What do you think about this? I am never doing a tier list with this many guys. I think there's like 60. It's absolutely insane. But yeah, let me know in the comments. What do you think? And I'll be seeing you in the next one.